In the depths of the prehistoric past, gigantic predators roamed the land, whose size, strength, and hunting skills still fascinate paleontologists and dinosaur lovers around the world. These carnivores were the kings of their time, apex predators who conquered the ecosystems of the time. Each of these creatures had their own weapons, some relying on brute strength, others on sharp jaws, and still others on speed or cleverness. But who was really the greatest? Which predator had the strongest jaw grip? And was there anyone who could stand up to the dreaded T-Rex? In this video, we will dive into the world of prehistoric hunters and reveal giants weighing tens of tons that terrified all living things. We will be transported to the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods and look under the skin of the most mysterious and terrifying carnivores that have ever walked the earth. We can expect lesser-known names and legendary monsters that you may have heard of, but certainly not in such details. Get ready for a journey into the depths of time, where there is no room for the weak, because where it gets dark, the hunt begins. Among the largest carnivores in the history of planet Earth, the Spinosaurus stands out, literally and literally. This fascinating predator reached a length of up to 18 meters, and its weight could exceed 20 tons. Its distinctive feature was a huge sheet on its back, formed by vertebral protrusions, the purpose of which is still a subject of debate. It could have been used to regulate body temperature, to show off, or as a reservoir of energy. In addition, Spinosaurus was one of the few known carnivorous dinosaurs that adapted perfectly to life in water. Its nostrils set high on its head, its dense bones, and its fin-like tail suggest that it was a great swimmer who hunted fish and other aquatic creatures in rivers and deltas. Its mouth can be compared to today's crocodiles. It was elongated, full of needle-like teeth, adapted to catch slippery fish. Its jaws were very strong, but adapted to grabbing and holding prey rather than crushing it. This distinguishes it from many other theropods. Thanks to its unique adaptations, the Spinosaurus is considered the largest carnivorous dinosaur that ever lived, although its hunting style was completely beyond the idea of terrestrial predators. In Argentine Patagonia, approximately 90 million years ago, one of the most powerful predators of its time, the Giganotosaurus, appeared. This giant was about 13 meters long and weighed almost 14 tons. His body was strongly built, but at the same time relatively slender, which allowed him to move with surprising speed. Giganotosaurus specialized in hunting large sauropods, which were abundant in its environment. Due to the size of his skull, which measured more than 1.5 meters, he possessed a deadly arsenal of sharp, curved teeth that resembled kitchen knives, although his jaw grip was not as strong as that of the T-Rex. He compensated for it with quick attacks and the ability to tear flesh apart with a jerky movement of his head. According to some research, it could also hunt in packs, which made it an extremely dangerous hunter. It also had an unusually developed cerebellum in the area, responsible for coordination of movement, which suggests that its ability to move was at a high level, especially for such a large creature. In North Africa, in the areas of today's Morocco and Algeria, another colossal carnivore ruled during the Cretaceous period, the Carcharodontosaurus. Its name literally means lizard with shark-like teeth, thanks to its extremely sharp serrated teeth that reached up to 20 centimeters in length. An adult individual could measure over 13 meters and weigh around 6 to 15 tons, making it one of the largest known theropods ever. Its skull was long and narrow, making its profile similar to that of other members of the Carcharodontosauridae family, such as the Giganotosaurus. His hunting tactics were probably aimed at exhausting prey. It could not crush bones like the T-Rex, but it was capable of delivering deep, deadly wounds and bleeding prey. Carcharodontosaurus had a massive body and strong legs, but it is not certain whether it was a fast runner. In any case, it was huge and terrifying, though its fossil record is very fragmented, which makes its overall picture still shrouded in mystery. Another representative of gigantic carnivores, the Mapusaurus, has been discovered in the Argentine steppes. This giant theropod was a close relative of the Giganotosaurus, but some finds suggest that it may have been even larger. It reached a length of over 12 meters and a weight of over 7 tons. What makes it particularly interesting, however, is the fact that its fossils were found together in one place, which has led to the hypothesis that these giants may have lived and hunted in groups. Group hunting of such large predators would mean a dramatic change in the way we look at their behavior. Mapusaurus, together with its companions, could carry out coordinated attacks on giant sauropods that it would not have been able to hunt alone. Its teeth were long, flat, and razor-sharp, perfect for fast, deep cuts. While many other theropods were solitary, the Mapusaurus is proof that even titans could work together to defeat even larger prey. One of the lesser-known, but still extremely formidable carnivores was Pteranodon, a real giant that lived approximately 90 million years ago in what is now Argentina. His name, translated as a tyrannical giant, was certainly not an exaggeration. This predator could grow to a length of over 12 meters, and its weight is estimated to be between 2 and 8 tons. It belonged to the same family as Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, i.e. to the group of so-called Carcharodontosaurids. It also had a long, narrow skull and sharp, flat teeth, ideal for cutting meat. What distinguished it was the massiveness and robustness of the body. His legs were strong and built for sustained movement rather than speed. Pteranodon was probably a solitary hunter who targeted large herbivores and used surprise attack tactics, delivering fatal blows and then waiting for his prey to succumb to blood loss. Although not as much material has been preserved about it as about its more famous relatives, it is definitely one of the largest and most terrifying predators that ever lived. In the territory of today's United States of America, a strangely built predator called Acrocanthosaurus roamed in the lower Cretaceous. This carnivorous colossus measured up to 12 meters and weighed around 6 tons. The most distinctive feature of the Acrocanthosaurus was its distinctive back, formed by high vertebral protrusions that formed a kind of low sail stretching along its back. This structure could serve as a showpiece to regulate body temperature or to intimidate rivals and rivals. Its skull was massive and strong, with jaws capable of inflicting painful and deep bites. Paleontological traces indicate that it moved mainly in forested and coastal areas, where it could use the terrain for surprise attacks. Its body structure resembled that of a later T-Rex, but it was tens of millions of years older. In the ecosystems of the time, Acrocanthosaurus was unrivaled at the top of the food chain and posed a mortal threat to all herbivores of its time. In East Asia, specifically in the territory of today's Mongolia, the late Cretaceous was dominated by the Tarbosaurus, a massive predator very close to the T-Rex. This predator grew up to 12 meters long and weighed around 5 tons. His skull was strong, equipped with massive jaws and teeth designed to crush bones. Tarbosaurus was probably a direct apex predator in the area where it lived, although it also had to face strong competition in the form of other smaller theropods. Its body was built for a short but explosive acceleration, and its forelimbs were very small, even smaller than those of the T-Rex. This points to an evolutionary specialization towards the bite as the main hunting method. Tarbosaurus inhabited the environment of river floodplains, where it could lie in wait for unsuspecting herbivores. It was exceptionally well adapted to life in its environment, and as an apex predator could afford to be relatively slow, as its bite was enough to paralyze even large prey. In the area of today's North America, another representative of tyrannosaurs lived in the late Cretaceous period, the Daspletosaurus. This predator resembled the T-Rex not only in appearance but also in behavior, but it was slightly smaller. It reached a length of about 10 meters and weighed approximately 4 tons. Its name means terrifying lizard, which perfectly describes its appearance. Its massive skull, massive jaws, and teeth designed to crush bone made it a relentless killing machine. It had relatively short but extremely strong legs, which allowed it to move quickly over short distances. Scientific evidence suggests that Daspletosaurus may have been territorial and aggressive. Bite marks from other individuals of the same species have been found on some skulls, indicating frequent fights for dominance. In the ecosystems of the time, the Daspletosaurus was the dominant predator, targeting large hadrosaurs and other herbivores. One of the largest predators of the Jurassic period was the Saurophaganax, a predator whose name can be translated as the ruler of lizard eaters. This colossus lived approximately 150 million years ago and reached a length of up to 11 meters. It belonged to the wider group of Allosauroids and was probably one of their largest representatives. Its body structure was impressive. Long, strong limbs, a massive skull, and strong muscles allowed it to hunt even the largest sauropods that grazed in the American landscapes at that time. His hunting strategy probably involved inflicting deep wounds on the sides of the prey, trying to exhaust the animal and gradually weaken it. Its massive jaws and sharp teeth were ideal for biting and tearing meat. Compared to later tyrannosaurids, it had a relatively lighter skeleton, which allowed it to be faster and agile. Saurophaganax was undoubtedly the alpha predator of its time, and in the areas where it lived, practically nothing could compete with it. Although the Therizinosaurus is often classified as a herbivore, Its bizarre appearance, size, and ambiguous findings have long placed it in the category of carnivorous dinosaurs. This giant, more than 10 meters long, which lived in the territory of today's Mongolia approximately 70 million years ago, had a massive body, a long neck, and very uncharacteristically ended forelimbs, 3 giant claws over 1 meter long, which made it one of the most terrifying creatures of its time. Although later research showed that it was probably herbivorous or omnivorous, its appearance and size often put it alongside real predators. The Rhinoceros also had feathers, which makes it even more unusual among large dinosaurs. His gait was slow but steady, with his center of gravity shifted backwards. Its massive arms and claws could have been used to defend itself, intimidate it, or to pull back branches with leaves. Although we now know that it was not a full-fledged predator, many illustrations and reconstructions have long depicted it as a feared carnivore, which gives it an honorable place in this list. Megaraptor has long been the subject of paleontological controversy. Its giant claw on the hand was originally thought to be a foot claw, which led to its erroneous classification as a dromaeosaurid. Later, however, it turned out that it was a different type of theropod that inhabited the territory of today's Patagonia. The length of the Megaraptor was around 10 meters, but its body was slimmer and lighter than that of other carnivores of similar size. What made it special were its massive arms, topped with extremely long and curved claws, which it used to attack prey. Its jaws were not as strong as those of other theropods, so it is likely that the main weapon was the hands. They could be used to tear up meat or to hold prey during a fight. Due to his build, he was apparently very agile and quick, which allowed him to deliver deadly blows quickly and effectively. Within the Argentine fauna, it represented one of the peaks of predatory evolution. Allosaurus was one of the most iconic predators of the Jurassic period and ruled North American ecosystems for a long time. With a length of over 9 meters and a weight of about 2 tons, it was smaller than later giants such as the T-Rex, but it was still a very effective predator. Its skull was relatively light and equipped with sharp teeth, while its movement was flexible and coordinated, allowing it to quickly attack unsuspecting prey. Allosaurus had significantly mobile cervical vertebrae, which allowed it to blow its head violently like slashes with a sword. He was also able to open his mouth to an extreme angle, which increased the destructive effect of the bite. Evidence suggests that it may have hunted in groups, allowing it to carry out coordinated attacks on giant sauropods. His dexterity, stamina, and hunting strategy ensured him a dominant position in the countries of the time. In the late Jurassic period, the territory of today's China was inhabited by the carnivorous predator Yangchuanosaurus. This lesser-known but extremely impressive theropod reached a length of over 10 meters and weighed several tons. It belonged to the Metriacanthosaurid family, and its body structure resembled a smaller version of the later T-Rex. It had a massive skull with sharp teeth and a strong neck that allowed it to quickly sink its jaws into the flesh of its prey. Its environment consisted of humid lowlands with a number of rivers, where it moved among various species of sauropods and ornithopods. Yangchuanosaurus could have been either a loner or at least an occasional cooperating hunter. Its weight and length place it among the larger Juraj predators and suggest that it was the dominant predator of its ecosystem. Siats microrum is one of the latest discoveries among giant carnivores. This mysterious predator lived approximately 100 million years ago in what is now Utah and reached a length of about 12 meters. It belonged to the group of neotyrannosaurs and was one of the last large predators to rule North America before the arrival of tyrannosaurs. Although the fossil record is still partial, it suggests that the Siats had a massive build, strong legs, and a huge head. Unlike later tyrannosaurids, it did not have such advanced jaw strength, but relied on speed and brute strength. Its body was robust, and its hunting skills probably allowed it to attack most of the fauna of the time, including young sauropods. Its discovery helped fill a gap in the evolution of predators in North America and showed that before the T-Rex appeared, the ecosystems had a different ruler. Torvosaurus was one of the largest carnivorous dinosaurs of the Jurassic period and was one of the dominant predators of Western Europe and North America. Its length could reach up to 11 meters, and its weight is estimated to be around 5 tons. This massively built theropod had a long skull full of sharp, serrated teeth and extremely strong limbs with large claws that gave it a lethal advantage when hunting. His name means lizard with saber teeth, and quite rightly. It hunted mostly herbivorous dinosaurs of medium size, which it attacked with rapid lunges and jerky movements of the head. His muscular body and strong bones suggest that he relied on brutal physical strength to attack. Torvosaurus was apparently a solitary predator that clung to its territory and had no natural enemy. It was one of the last great predators of the Jurassic, which preceded the later colossi of the Cretaceous. On the territory of today's Madagascar, a very special carnivore lived during the late Cretaceous, Majungasaurus. This theropod reached a length of about 7 meters and weighed about 1 ton, which makes it one of the smaller representatives on our list, but its importance is enormous. It was the apex predator of its habitat, with a very short but robust skull and an extremely strong jaw grip. It had a strangely shaped skull with a single growth on its forehead, which could have been used for intimidation or intraspecific communication. One of the most interesting features of Majungasaurus was its tendency to cannibalism. Fossil evidence shows that members of this species often feasted on their own species, which is relatively rare among dinosaurs. In addition, its skeleton shows signs of slow but steady movement. It was therefore more of an ambush than a chasing hunter. Although he was not the biggest, his scary behavior and strange appearance definitely make him memorable. At the end of our list, we come to a predator from the late Cretaceous period, which was classified as a smaller tyrannosaurid, Bistahyavosaur. His name means destroyer of Bistahi, and his fossils were found in what is now New Mexico. Although smaller than its more famous relative, the T-Rex, it reached up to 9 meters in length and weighed over 2 tons, making it an extremely capable predator. It had a typical short but massive skull, strong jaws, and extremely shortened forelimbs. It was highly specialized in attacking medium-sized herbivores, which it could surprise with a quick lunge. His strong jaw grip allowed him to penetrate to his bones and inflict fatal injuries. Spinosaurus was probably the apex predator of its region and represents an important evolutionary stage among smaller theropods and giants, such as the T-Rex. Its occurrence indicates that tyrannosaurids were already a widespread and successful group at that time. Albertosaurus, a close relative of the famous T-Rex, inhabited the territory of Toulouse, Canada during the late Cretaceous. It measured up to 10 meters and weighed around 2 tons, making it one of the lightest tyrannosaurs of this size. Its slimmer body allowed it to reach greater speeds than heavier predators, giving it an advantage when hunting faster prey such as hadrosaurs or smaller ceratopsids. Although its jaws were not as massive as those of the T-Rex, it was still capable of delivering a deadly bite. Fossil finds suggest that Albertosaurus may have lived and hunted in groups. Skeletons of several individuals have been discovered together, which supports the hypothesis of pack behavior, quite unusual in large predators. This ability to cooperate could make it a deadly predator that was able to hunt much larger prey than it could on its own. Albertosaurus is thus an important link in the evolution of tyrannosaurids and represents the transition from fast hunters to heavyweight giants, such as the T-Rex. Ceratosaurus is one of the oldest known large carnivores and inhabited North America, Europe, and Africa. During the late Jurassic, it grew to a length of about 6 to 7 meters and weighed approximately 1 ton. Its name means horned lizard, a reference to the distinctive horn on its nose and other smaller protrusions above the eyes. These protrusions could have been used to intimidate opponents or during intraspecific communication. His body was slender but strong, and he had a long tail to help him keep his balance while running.